What's up guys, welcome back to a new Dying Light 2 video. So recently with the new gameplay, we've come across a lot of features that are now in the game that we didn't know before. And it seems like Techland has taken a lot of inspiration from Ubisoft specifically. Even just looking at Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I can see a lot of features that are very similar in Dying Light 2. Obviously we have the health bar, which a lot of people don't really like that much. We also have leveling systems of different enemies, which we'll talk about a bit later. And the other one I can think of off the top of my head is where we take over an area and we have to designate it to a faction. It looks very similar to me in Assassin's Creed Valhalla when you take over a new area. I don't know, I just see a lot of similarities that Techland has seemed to be adding in. And for the most part, I am fine with most of these changes. There is one that I am not too fond of though, and that would be indeed the leveling system of enemies. And this is kind of one that really flew under the radar as far as feedback, even though it's pretty much wide open to see. I was actually very surprised that people were complaining about health bars and were not complaining about enemy levels. And in the end, it's not going to really be a huge deal. I just feel like it could kill a little bit of the exploration in the game, because one of my first plans was to possibly actually just traverse really far at the start of the game and just see what happened, but we don't even know if that's really going to even be that feasible without pretty much taking like 1,000 hits to kill an enemy like 3 districts over. I mean, I could definitely see that. I hope not, but I could see it. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is it going to be feasible to really explore early on and avoid the main quest? Because that's something I'm interested in for sure, and I think other people are probably interested in as well. And you might wonder why. I don't really know. It just seems unique. I mean, just think about it. If I'm playing the game right when everyone else starts playing it when it releases, I mean, if I'm going like 5 factions over and someone tunes into my live stream, it's like, holy shit, what's going on here? Like, no one else is at this part yet. And I think it would just be cool to see someone at the very start of the game just doing something totally off the rails. So I don't blame them at all for adding this into the game. It pretty much makes sense with a bigger map to add different leveled enemies into the game. But I hope it's not anything too crazy. I hope I'm still able to kill enemies districts over even though I'm under leveled. When I think of this topic, I automatically just turn to Destiny, because in that game, I love that game, but in that game, if you were going against an upper leveled enemy, they would just show question marks above their icon and you couldn't even do damage to them, or maybe minimal damage at most. Which in Destiny, I think it kind of works well. But in Dying Light 2, I don't think it would work as well. Keep in mind too, I don't think we really even know what the max level enemy is going to be. I do remember Aussie said something about a level 9 like enemy, I think in one of the things I saw of him talking about it, and how it was definitely much harder to kill a level 9 than a level 1 with the crossbow. That's definitely a hot topic in the community, I would say right now. Some people have pointed out that the bow looks very overpowered so far. And on mouse and keyboard, I mean, that's going to be GG with the bow. It definitely makes sense with the leveling system with infected. I do think so personally. With human enemies, I'm just not as big of a fan of it. And going back to what I said earlier, I would like to be able to go couple districts across and be able to kill different enemies there. Human enemies are going to be significantly stronger just because they're a higher level. I don't think that's going to be really too appealing to me. I just think if they overdo it, it could potentially kill some of the explorability in game. In Dying Light 1, we obviously had the different skill trees and then the overall legend level. Forgive me if I'm sort of misspeaking on it. I don't think I am, because I haven't played Dying Light 1 in a long time, to be honest with you. But I do remember we had the separate branches and then one overarching level system. And those levels went up pretty high, like up to about 250, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. And in Dying Light 2, I don't know, 250 levels, I don't know if I see that happening if the leveling is going to work the same between, enemies and our own player. Kind of an open-ended statement I'm making here, but it's just kind of something to consider. How far off is it going to coincide with enemy levels at all or not, or whatever? If I'm fighting a level 4 renegade, am I going to have to be a level 4 to compete? Or is the leveling going to be just totally on its own? I'm guessing it's just going to be totally on its own, but we never know. I guess we haven't really seen anything of the inventory or skill tree yet, besides some of the creators talking about specific skills and certain things that'll happen. I don't even think any of them know about any of the stuff I'm talking about here, about different levels and stuff like that. So yeah, I've definitely been surprised this has not been talked about more. People have been focusing more on the health bars and the clothing stats and stuff like that. These things, I just don't think they're such a big deal. I think the leveling system is going to be a bigger deal if it's overdone. It could be done very well, but it could also be overdone. So I'll let you make your own conclusion on what you think will really happen and what's your opinion on it. Let me know. Thank you for watching the video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.